and welcome to another video here at Hobbies and Happiness. My name is Dan.
I'm Jim. Today we are going over the next color in the tier list. It's black.
All right, we're back for another set review of the Alpha Clash set number 1, The Awakening. Today we are looking at all of the black cards that we've got for set number 1. Before we get into it, don't forget, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet. If you want to see more Alpha Clash content from us, Dan and Jim at Hobbies and Happiness. Again, and also don't forget, hit that bell notification so you can be notified anytime we release new content for this game, guys. We're excited. Last time we went over the green cards. Dude, are you surprised that I like green again, Jim?
Yes.
I'm very green. I love green. I don't know why. I think so. I've heard before. Okay, my hair color. Okay, I'm a ginger redhead. Mm-hmm. If you look at the color wheel,
contrast.
The color contrast. Yeah, I've heard that before. Mm-hmm. And so the opposing color is green on the color wheel. Yeah. So you've heard that before. Yeah. So I don't. So do you put much stock in it?
No. No, I don't.
It's one of those things where I just find
Opposites
interesting.
Attract or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we're gonna jump right in. We're gonna jump right in to set number 1. So we're gonna start off with the Clash cards for black. The black Clash cards. Yes. The first one we have is Moxie. Preparing for battle. Now, before we talk about actually, again, some ground rules, okay? Yes. We are doing the set review, so we've got a 5-tier rating list. So we have S, A, B, C, and D. S is just one of the best cards. D is it's dog doo-doo. Dog doo-doo. A is a really good card, just not quite S. B is solid. It's a solid card. C is basically situational. There's really not going to be much use, not necessarily much use, but there's only specific use case for that card. Yep. So that's kind of how we have decided we're going to do our ratings, and we're enjoying having these discussions to hash out our ideas because we have to come to a consensus for Hobbies and Happiness. So the first one we have is Moxie Preparing for Battle. Moxie Preparing for Battle, a 1-drop, and it has to be a black resource. She's a 1/1 Moxie Earth Clash card of the Alpha Hunter affiliation and has trigger enter, you may draw a card. Jim, what do you think of Moxie Preparing for Battle?
Oh, she's so good, man. This is one of my favorite cards in the entire game, and there's a couple like her, but this one is mine.
Yeah, this one is yours.
This one is mine. And just being able to get instant value on top of, you might be able to attack with her, or you're just going to use her to chump block something and save you some damage.
Yes.
This card is great, and there's no other place I would put her than at S tier.
Really?
Mwah.
Would you really put S tier?
All right, for sure A.
Yeah, I would definitely agree A.
Yeah,
I cannot put her at S tier.
Yeah, no,
because she's a 1/1. She's a 1/1.
But she's 1 mana.
Yes, correct.
That draws you a
card. Yes, 100%.
With a body on board.
Yes,
Dan.
I know.
Dan,
I know.
Well, we're saying the same thing here, right?
I know we are. So the only thing about this, okay, is it's not unique, which is not a bad thing. Like it's not a bad thing because there are a lot of 1/2 drops in this game that trigger enter draw a card. Yeah. Okay, trigger enter is way better than a trigger defeat.
Oh, 100%.
Okay, is strictly better 100%. Than trigger defeat. Trigger enter strictly better than trigger defeat. 100%. So, I mean, definite A, 100% definite A. I don't think I could give it S tier, but it's definite A tier, 100%.
100% A.
100%. So the next one, we're going to stay on the Maxine Riggins train here. It's Captain Maxine Riggins. So another 1-drop, with that being a black resource. She's a 2/1 Moxie Earth Clash card with the Alpha Hunter affiliation. So vanilla 2/1 for 1. What do you think about this?
Anytime you're able to get 2 attack off of a creature for 1 mana, it's some of my favorite things you can do in card games. And but there's nothing else she does. Correct. It's just she gets in there for 2 attack. Yeah. So I would have to give her a B.
Yeah, I would agree. This is unlike Sonoro, where Sonoro could be a 2/2. Yeah. 2/2 for 1. So I like Sonoro much better because of that. Okay, but I do think she's a solid card. Yep. Even though she's a vanilla, nothing doing, but you do get that 2 attack for 1. So yeah, I think Captain Maxine Riggins is a solid B. Solid B for Captain Maxine Riggins. Next one we have is Weber. Weber Weapons Expert. So Weber is a 2-drop, both of those resources needing to be black. So Weber is a 1/1 Weber Earth Clash card in the Alpha Hunter affiliation and has a trigger enter. You may attach a weapon in your accessory zone to an Alpha Hunter Clash card you control without paying that weapon's attach cost. One thing we did not mention in our green set review is we didn't talk about the rarities. Okay, so I want to make sure we do start talking about that. But does not change any sort of
change
evaluation.
About the game.
Right, right. But Weber Weapons Expert is an uncommon. My favorite thing about Weber is the Sears Tower in the background of the artwork. In all honesty, so what do you think of Weber Weapons Expert, Jim?
So early on, you pretty much aren't going to be playing this guy in turn 2.
Right.
This is not a tempo card.
Correct.
You're going to wait till you have an accessory that you're going to be able to move around and be able to get off different attacks with.
Right.
To be buffing up your other units. And just with that, this guy will save you a good amount on resources for the attachment, and you can set up some really crazy combos with him.
Right.
So this guy, he's up there, I think.
Yes, I would agree. So yeah, I definitely very much like this card. And again, we're not talking about the contenders in these videos. The contenders will be talked about in a separate video going all over the contenders. But again, Moxie is basically the weapon deck. Moxie is the weapon accessory deck. And that's what a lot of black cards you're going to see. They care about weapon synergies. Oh, okay. So, and Weber is definitely one of those cards. So that being said, how would you rate a Weber Weapons Expert?
Ooh, man, I think I have to give him a high A.
Really?
I think I'd give him a high A just because there are so many good accessories that you're able to move around on your other creatures.
Really? Okay.
And just him being able to do that for 2 cost, and it could save you a little bit. I'd put him up high at a high A.
Really? That's interesting to me.
Yeah.
So I think again, this is, I mean, it's situational, but it's not situational from the standpoint of you're only playing this if you are building a weapon or accessory deck. Okay. So that being said, it doesn't go in everything black, right? It does not go in everything black. No. Okay. So from that standpoint, I'm like, it's not good in everything, but we also, I think, need to look at like, what are the highest attached cost cards that we're going to be able to see. So
3 or 4.
It's about 3 or 4, right? Yeah. So is that worth an additional? Is it worth that resources? Right? You're getting a body, yes. You're getting a potential blocker, okay, and a potential obstructor. So that's definitely big. So convince me to go from B to an A, because I can live with the B. I can definitely live with the B. Okay. I just don't know.
Okay.
I'm just. How do you get to being an A then?
All right, so why I'm even thinking is if we're able to, even if we're saving 1 or 2 mana, right? Okay. Or 1 or 2 resources with him moving around an attachment.
Correct.
If you are able to set off your combo of being a full turn or even 2 turns before you would normally be able to do something, to be able to combo off with your cards that you already have along with your weapons that you now have out on board, I think just being able to save you those 1 or 2 turns can set you up to just take out your opponent.
Okay. All right, that makes sense. Now, the only other thing I'll point out is it does specifically say it's a weapon in your accessory zone. So this is not a weapon that's already attached to something else. Okay, so this does not move around. It has to be in the accessory zone.
Okay.
So does that change your analysis?
Does it change anything?
Because
probably not high A.
Yeah, because I do know that, again, especially when you're moving around accessories and weapons, you have to think about, okay, where is it? Is this attached? Okay, I need to unattach it because you can unattach it. Okay, so if you need to unattach it, you're basically, because then you have to pay the attach cost twice.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, so it's... Okay.
So it's a little, it's not like the effect is worse, but it's just the rule set in which the game is.
Okay.
You have to work around that.
So in this, when it's attached to something, it is no longer in an accessory zone.
Correct. It's not in the accessory zone anymore.
Okay.
It is now attached to the clash card in the clash zone.
Okay. I got you.
So that being said,
that is less good.
Yes, yes, less good. So that being said, how would you stay A, or would that move it down to B?
I would probably put it at B.
Okay.
At that point.
All right. I changed his mind, guys.
By telling me how the game works.
Yes. It's amazing how that works, right, guys?
Knowing the game lets you know the game.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So that's Weber, weapons expert. Speaking of Weber, we're staying on the same character here. Yay. Moving to Sergeant Weber. So Sergeant Weber, another 2-drop, one of those being a black resource. So Sergeant Weber is a 2/2 Weber Earth Clash card in the Alpha Hunter affiliation. He's a common. So vanilla 2/2 for 2, one of those being black.
Yeah.
What do you got? What do you got for me?
Super basic card.
Yep.
If he was 1 mana, I would really like him, but 2/2 for 2 is just a basic card, so I'm going to give him B for basic.
Yep. I don't have anything to add. I think you're pretty much right on. Yep. I mean, it's not a C. I mean, this is a solid stat line. It's an expected.
Staple.
It's an expected stat line. Okay. Yeah. I mean, like, this is basically this is your baseline, right? This is the baseline you're looking for when you're evaluating cards, right? So I think with Sergeant Weber being a baseline, I think a B is pretty much deserved. Okay. So the next one we have is Moxie Alpha Hunting Specialist. So Moxie is a 2-drop, one of those being black. She's a 3/1 Moxie Earth Clash card in the Alpha Hunter affiliation. She's an uncommon and has the ability Trigger Enter. You may reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. If you do, you may put a Weber or Edwards Clash card with an initial resource cost of 3 or less from among them into your Clash zone engaged. Then put the remaining cards into your Oblivion. Jim, what do you think about Moxie Alpha Hunting Specialist?
Man, when this card hits, this card really hits.
Yes.
So let's think about it in terms of she doesn't get you anything off the top of the 3. She's a 3/1 for 2, which is perfectly fine.
Yep.
A lot more offensive, which I do like, rather than being like a 1/3.
Right.
Much prefer to have the 3/1.
Yep.
But when you do hit that Weber or Edwards, this card is now even more phenomenal because it's like you doubled the amount of mana you put into this.
And then potentially you have another trigger from the Edwards or Weber cards coming.
Exactly. It can really combo off crazy. And if you're playing the list how it pretty much should be, right, for Moxie, you're going to be playing the Webers and the Colonel Edwards.
Right.
So, oh man, I see it being, for 2 mana, this baseline is a B.
Yes. I would agree.
Ceiling, though, this card is up there.
Yes.
High C. High S. Ceiling's lower.
The ceiling. Yeah, I'm like, where are you going?
Yeah, sorry. It's a high S for when this hits.
Yes.
It is up there.
Yes. Yeah. So I think I would definitely settle on A. I think I would definitely settle on A because again, it's when this hits, it hits.
Yeah. And
again, only set 1, it can still hit really good. It could get better. It could get better in the future. So like the more Weber and Edwards cards we see, the better this card gets.
Even if we see them in different colors, you still can get those cards with this Moxie.
Yeah, that's true.
Just throw them out there.
Correct.
It's pretty nice. Yeah. Giving it a solid A, because even if you hit 50% of the time, it's so good when you hit.
It is. There have been many times where you put out Moxie on board, she hits, and then you're like, oh, because like let's say when you hit that Sergeant Weber and then you get that free attach, it's like, oh yeah, it just feels so good.
I think it's
so good.
In the game that we played and this happened, I was just like, he just got so much value. Why can't I get this?
Yeah. Especially when you're playing the mirror, like with those, it's crazy. Yeah. So that's Moxie Alpha Hunting Specialist. And again, I gotta say the artwork is phenomenal. Absolutely love the artwork. So that's Moxie Alpha Hunting Specialist. And then speaking of that Trigger Enter ability, let's talk about Colonel Edwards here, man. So Colonel Edwards is a 3-drop, one of those being black. So he's a 1/1. Let's say it's just a 1/1.
Oh, it's garbage. Dude.
He's Edwards Earth. It's a Clash card in the Alpha Hunter affiliation. Okay, with the ability Trigger Enter. You may reveal the top 5 cards of your deck. If you do, you may put a weapon with an initial resource cost of 3 or less from among them into your accessory zone. Then put the remaining cards on the bottom of your deck in any order. So Colonel Edwards very much cares about your weapons, okay, which is, again, that's like the black synergy. That's the black thing to do, is really care about those weapons. So Jim, well, what do you think about Colonel Edwards here, man?
Man, dude, this card is so good.
Yep.
When in the top 5 you do have a target.
Yes.
Even if it's a 1 cost target or 2, it's still, it's still a pretty good find. But just being able to deck thin is extremely good. And now the bad part, since you have to put the remaining cards to the bottom of your deck. If you don't come across anything, but there's other good cards you have that were right there, you're like, oh, this is such a feels bad, because now not only did you not find a target, now you know what's at the bottom of your deck, and it can take a little bit to get there.
Yes, agreed.
So, this card is amazing when it hits.
Yeah. So again, let's read that trigger enter ability again. Okay. Reveal the top 5. So reveal top 5 cards of your deck. If you do, you may put a weapon. So number 1, we're looking for a weapon. Also we're looking for a weapon with an initial resource cost of 3 or less. There are good weapons at 3 or less. Okay. There are some good ones. Okay. This card gets better the more weapons we see that fit that distinction. Okay. So this card can only get better. Okay. So right now, and we're going to go over the black weapons in a little bit later in this. Okay. So keep that in mind. So all that being said, okay, knowing what the weapons are, because there are some good ones. Okay. There's not a ton. Okay. I'm going to go, I think solid B. Solid B.
Solid B.
I don't think he gets to an A yet. It's a solid B.
Yeah. If he was 2 mana, this card would be phenomenal. Easy A.
Yes. Yes, I agree.
But 3 is a little more.
I think I think I'm right there. I think if this was a 2-drop 1/1 with that ability, same ability, I think that'd be a solid A, because that would be crazy value.
Yeah.
That's crazy, because again, remember, this is not to hand. It's straight onto battlefield.
Onto the field,
it's straight onto field.
Yeah.
So 2-drop would be amazing. 2-drop would be an amazing. So I think this is a correctly costed card for 3. But that being said, I think solid B.
It also kind of hurts a little bit for just having 3 mana to pretty much set up a little bit more rather than really start doing something.
Yes.
And it's only a maybe you start setting up a little more. Otherwise, I spent 3 mana on a 1/1.
Yes. Agreed.
Feels bad.
Yeah, it definitely feels bad. But yeah, I think Colonel Edwards is solid B for that Colonel Edwards card. Yeah. All right, next we have Morac on the Hunt. Morac on the Hunt is a 4-drop, 2 of those being black. He's a 4/3 Morac Bardega Clash card with the discarded affiliation. First discarded affiliated we got in the set.
Yes.
And he has trigger enter. You may send target Clash ground with an initial resource cost of 3 or less to Oblivion. So Jim, what do you think of Morac here?
Well, he almost makes the vanilla test, 4/4 for 4.
Yep.
He just falls in C. He's a sideboard card for when Clash Grounds are out there that you can't get rid of or don't want there to be there. He's just going to come in, get rid of them.
Right. Because again, I think when you're building your deck, you're most likely going to be utilizing your colors, Clash Grounds, to your benefit that fit your deck, what you're trying to do the most. Okay. Yep. I think the only reason you're putting Morac in is if your opponent is getting a lot more benefit out of their Clash cards than you have really answers to. Let's say they have New York City and you're not running any alphas. You really don't have any way to deal with flyers. You want that gone. Morac is an additional answer to those effects.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. So that being said, I don't think I'm running Morac in the main deck.
No.
I think he's only ever coming in from the sideboard.
Yep.
So I mean, that being said, I think he's a straight C. I don't think I would ever put Morac above a C.
Yeah.
So
simple.
Yeah, it's I like the card. I want to like it more. I really do want to like it more because again, time will tell how much of a factor Clash Grounds are going to play. I mean, they are powerful effects. They're definitely powerful effects. So it's important to have answers in your deck. But again, with no meta right now, I'm very interested to see how important a card like Morac is going to be. Right. I mean, I think he could be B, but again, that's meta dependent, I think. Right. So for right now, I think it's definitely a solid C. Do you agree? Do you have anything you have?
Nope.
You think? Yeah.
C it is.
So that's C. That's Morac on the hunt. And the next one we have is Moxie. So Moxie, also Morac, I forgot, Morac is a rare. So Morac is a rare. So keep that in mind. All right, so Moxie's a 4-drop, 2 of those resources being black. So Moxie is a 3/3 Moxie Earth Clash card in the Alpha Hunter affiliation. She's an uncommon and has the ability, this card gets +1/+2 as long as 1 or more weapons are attached to it. What do you think about Moxie?
I think she's S tier. You want me to tell you why?
Go ahead.
Because let's say this Moxie walked up to me and she's holding that Desert Eagle. I'm going to be like, you're the highest tier you want to be. Okay? All right. Joking aside.
But guys, seriously though, the artwork is just so good.
Phenomenal.
It's phenomenal. Yeah. Sorry, continue, Jim. Go ahead.
You're going to be using this inside of a weapons deck,
right?
And she instantly gets buffed. Even if you put a weapon on her that doesn't even give power, it's just there, and it's. I think they have a 1-drop weapon, the Binoculars.
We'll get there.
There's a 1-drop you can put on her.
Yep.
And
it doesn't itself, because that itself will not buff you. If that doesn't buff you, you're still getting a buff for Moxie.
Yep. You still get a buff on top of it.
Yeah.
So even now, if you throw a weapon on top of her that buffs her, now she's getting even bigger.
Yes.
It's situational, but it's a very common situation you're going to fall in inside of this style of deck.
Correct.
And for that, I'd have to put her at a B.
You're B? Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to convince myself of ways that she could go in A tier. I don't think I'm there. I don't think I can give myself an argument that I don't think I can convince myself to put her in A tier.
Yeah.
I think B tier is perfectly where she fits, where she slots right in is that B tier for Moxie. So but that's Moxie, and that's it. It's just the name Moxie. There's nothing else after that. But that's
her
Moxie.
Her name is Moxie.
All right, now we've got an interesting card. I'm curious to know Jim's opinion on this one. All right, this is Kilimanjaro Ascendant Champion. So Kilimanjaro is a 4-cost, 2 of those being black. 4-cost, 4/4 Kilimanjaro Earth Clash card in the Alpha affiliation. He's an epic. Okay, he's an epic rarity. With the trigger enter ability, you may discard any number of cards from your hand. For each card discarded, target Clash card gets -0/-2 until end of turn. What do you think? What do you think about this, Jim?
So I really like the flavor of playing this card with Morac. Because he's discarded, and so I can pitch him again.
Right.
But aside from that, getting rid of cards from hand feels terrible when you have to get rid of a couple more in order to get rid of something pretty powerful.
Right.
You don't want to do a 3-for-1 trade.
Correct.
You do not want to. He's cool.
Yes.
But he's not up there for me at all.
So a couple things to keep in mind. So 4 for 4, right? Baseline 4 for 4. You don't even have to do that trigger enter. No flight. There's no added stats above that. Nothing. No other keywords. Okay. Yeah. So a vanilla 4 for 4 is already. I mean, that's what we expect, right?
Yeah.
But now it has this added benefit of essentially pitch a card, deal 2 damage. Yep. Okay. That's how you need to look at this, I think, because again, you would most likely be playing some other cards that deal non-clash damage before this to ping some other cards on board. Okay. And then you just get in for some additional pitch damage. Okay. But still, it's already, because you're already looking at an additional 2-for-1, 3-for-1. Because again, you have to think about clash damage. If Kilimanjaro even is going to go into a clash, Well, here, actually think about this. Let's say your opponent has one card on board, okay? And it's a big boy, it's a 9/9, and you discard 2 cards, give it -4, -0, -4, and now your opponent, if this is the end game, again, I'm having to come up with a very specific situation.
Are you saying this
to make
is
this
situational?
to make this good. Yes, I don't even think if I could give this a B.
No,
That's the thing.
No, there's no way this card's a B. The only thing I can see liking it, right, is ETB making pretty much a vanilla, right? But then you can discard, and I would just want to get rid of one card.
Right.
Discard one card to kill a 2/2.
Right.
Or, bring a 4 or a 6/6 down to a 6/4, and then you swing in to be able to kill it.
Right.
But then at that point, it's again a 2-for-1.
Yeah.
And I don't want any part of that.
I don't either.
The other way, you get rid of a 2/2, and then you can swing in at something else, and now it's a 1-for-1 at that point.
Right.
But twice.
Right.
So it's situational and also bad.
I know, dude. Like,
Best case scenario, it's situational.
I know. Like, I want to like this card more. Like, I really do. But it's like, I can't. There's a lot of mental gymnastics I have to go through.
Yeah.
I got to go through a lot of things to figure out where this card is going to benefit me.
If it was each Clash card aside from itself, I wouldn't even care if it wiped your own board. I'd be like, yes.
100%.
Yes.
100%. Yes.
This would have been great because then it's going off of the volcano of just erupting on everything.
Yeah. I want to like his card more. I really do, but I don't think we can give it higher than a C.
Yeah,
I don't think we can give it higher than a
way.
C. That's Kilimanjaro, Ascendant Champion. The next one is Rizlac. I think it's Rizlac. It's either Rizlac. We're going to go with that. Rizlac the Depraved. So Rizlac is a 5-cost, 3 of those being black. 5/2 Rizlac Bardega Clash card with a discarded affiliation. He is an epic rarity card with necrotic. So necrotic means any Clash card that is dealt Clash damage by this card will be sent to oblivion after that Clash. So it's essentially Death Touch. It's basically Death Touch. Okay.
Yeah.
Now it has this additional ability here. If 3 or more alpha and or discarded Clash cards were defeated this turn, you may reduce the resource cost to play this card by 3 black resources. So you could effectively play Rizlac for 2 resources.
Yeah.
What do you think about Rizlac, Jim?
Now, it doesn't say that it has to be your alpha cards or discarded. So it is a lot better than I first read this card.
Correct.
It's just like, trade some stuff on your field, maybe play this card for now 2 cost. So I guess what you could do, which would be a pretty nice line, say there was like 2 creatures on both boards, right? And you just clear everything. You clear it all, and now you can play this guy for 2 mana.
Yeah.
If you can drop this guy on like turn 3 along with another card and then just swing in for 5 attack on your opponent, that is a huge swing extremely early on. I like how aggressive you can be with this card.
Yeah.
And the necrotic, it's even if something attacks it, it's just like, well, you're also just dead.
Right.
If you're bigger,
or you
in.
save it for a blocker too.
Or you save it for a blocker. There's so many things you could do with it.
There is. Now, 2 things that I would note with this. Number 1 is the 2 defense. It's
Terrible.
it will die to everything.
It dies to Kilimanjaro.
True. 1 card from Kilimanjaro, bad card. So yeah, that 2 defense, it'll die to pretty much everything. Okay. The other thing that I want to note is the ability. It specifically states if 3 or more alpha and or discarded Clash cards were defeated, not sent to oblivion, defeated. So their defense values had to have been dropped down to 0.
Yes.
Okay. So keep that in mind. All that being said, where would you rate this card, Jim?
Oh, I didn't want to be asked that question because I really don't think it's great.
I don't think it's higher than a C.
I don't even see it being situational.
You don't? How you think it's D?
The only situation I see is if you cleared the board and played this guy for 2 cost. That's the only situation. Then at that point, it's pretty good.
Yeah, because it still feels bad. Solar Smash, you deal 3 damage, or 2 or 3 damage, and then kill it. That's so bad.
Yeah,
it's just it feels bad.
It's not great.
You're
don't make me say it. You say it.
All right. Yeah. I think it's D. Unfortunately, I think it's D. It's a beautiful card.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful, but
it's not beautifully good.
Again, this is another card where I want to like it more.
Yeah.
I really, really want to like it more.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's Rizlac is gonna be a D.
Yay, Rizlac.
All right. Next we got it's Moxie. Another Moxie. Moxie Prime to Clash. Moxie Prime to Clash. A 5-drop, 5 required black resources. Moxie is a 3/3 Moxie Earth Clash card. In the Alpha Hunter, she is a rare card. Also, Rizlac was an epic card as well.
Yes.
So it's an epic. Okay. Moxie Prime to Clash is a rare. And with the ability, you may reduce the resource cost to play this card by 1 black for each weapon you control.
Yeah.
Okay. So 1 black resource for every weapon you control. Okay. She has a trigger enter. You may send target Alpha Clash card with an initial resource cost of 2 or less to Oblivion. And then you may only play 1 Moxie Prime to Clash per turn.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what are your thoughts on Moxie Prime to Clash, Jim?
I am a big fan of this card.
Okay.
When you're pretty much always not paying 5 cost for her.
Right.
Because you're looking to have a bunch of weapons with Moxie.
Correct.
And so, even if you're most likely going to drop her for like 3, maybe 2, could be.
Yep.
Man, you could even make her free.
You potentially could, yeah.
Eventually, she's going to be free.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I really like this card. Even if you do nothing else other than ETB send something.
But even if you don't get that trigger, if you don't get that trigger enter, like if I'm paying, if I'm paying 5 for this, I don't like it.
Yeah. No.
If I'm paying 5 for this, I do not like it. Okay.
But you're not paying 5.
Correct. Like I'm never gonna pay 5 for this and not have a target. The only way I'm paying 5 is if there is a good target for that trigger enter on the field.
Yep.
The only way, and I need to get rid of it. That's it.
Yep.
Okay. Otherwise, I'm waiting until I'm able to get a reduced cost on this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then the question becomes, at what point is it worth it? Right. That's when that question comes into effect. But again, it's still you're versatile.
After 2 equipment or after 2 weapons on board, it's worth it.
Yes. Yeah, I would agree.
Mm-hmm.
I'd agree. So that being said, where would you land? You can only play one of these a turn, so keep that in mind.
Otherwise, it'd be stupid.
That'd be crazy. Okay. Yeah. That being said, where would you land on a rating for this?
I'd for sure give it a B.
Okay.
I could really see A because you're pretty much always going to have these weapons out on board to reduce the cost of it.
Okay.
I'm going to give it a solid A.
Yeah, I would agree. Definitely not S, but it is higher than B.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's definitely higher than B. So yeah, I think A is the correct place where I think Moxie Prime to Clash should go.
If it instead said trigger enter, attach a weapon to this card's phenomenal.
Yeah,
card would be S tier instantly. But just being able to destroy something, sure, it's nice, but it doesn't. And it doesn't really play to the strengths of the deck as a whole. Right.
Yeah, so that's Moxie Prime to Clash. And then the next we got the big boy.
Oh man.
The big boy, Alpha.
Is this an Avatar guy?
Alpha Aster, Giver of All. All right. So Alpha Aster, Giver of All is an 8 cost. So 8 costs, no required resources. So this can go in any deck. Okay, so keep that in mind. So Alpha Aster, Giver of All, is a 9/9 Alpha Aster Zenith Prime Clash card. He is a progenitor affiliation, the only one in the set. He is a legendary. Okay, so far I've opened 5 boxes. I've not pulled an Alpha Aster. Not pulled an Alpha Aster.
Holy cow.
Yeah, not pulled one. I'm looking for it, right? So Alpha Aster has a couple of different abilities. He has Irrefutable, which means this card cannot be prevented from entering play, so you can't counter it or anything like that. It has Observant. This card cannot attack the turn it enters play, okay? Has Unrivaled. This is important. Unrivaled means only one card with Unrivaled is allowed in your entire deck. That means the main deck plus the sideboard. And then he also has Trigger Enter. Each player sends all other Clash cards they control from their Clash zone to Oblivion. Then each player searches their deck for one Alpha Clash card and puts it into play. Cards that enter play this way lose all effects and abilities until end of turn. Each player then shuffles their deck. So it's essentially a board wipe, but you could potentially be giving your opponent one of the best cards in their deck. They just lose all other abilities that turn it enters play. So all that said, what's your thoughts on Alpha Aster?
You know, I think it's real funny that he doesn't have the specific mana or the resource cost for him. Yeah. So it's like he can go in every single deck. It's because no one wants him there. I think that's why they did that.
Oh, that's great.
So, you know, it hurts me to look at this card. It hurts me.
Does it really?
Yeah.
Continue.
Yeah.
I'm loving this, dude. I'm loving this. Keep going.
So, all right. I know we said the lowest tier was D.
Oh, no.
I think we need to have an Alpha Aster tier. I think we have to.
Really?
I don't think this guy's good at all. No haste. There's only one in the deck. So now you're extremely limited on even finding this guy.
Right.
I just don't care about him. I wouldn't want to play him in any of my decks.
It's a board wipe. It's a board wipe, and you're getting another alpha. Because again, you're only playing this if you're running alphas.
It's a board wipe that's a one of in the deck.
True.
I don't want it at a one of because it's just instantly not great. That
again, so let's also look at it from the standpoint of if I'm playing this, I can't play any other unrivaled card.
Yeah.
And what are the opportunity costs? What am I giving up to put this in the deck?
Yeah.
Okay. If I draw this on turn 2, am I holding it in my hand for the entirety until I get to turn 6, 7, 8, 9?
No, you're not. I wouldn't be.
Right. So you clearly do not like this card.
I don't, man. I wanted to like him so bad. I remember when I first saw him, I'm like, this dude looks great.
Yep.
And I read, I'm like, next card. Next card.
So you would give this a D?
No, I wouldn't.
You give it lower than a D. Oh man. See, and one of the things that I've been saying actually for a little bit now is when you look at an unrivaled card, you have to take that into consideration.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%.
You have to, because it's a one of in your entire and it's not just your entire deck, it's your main deck and your sideboard.
Yeah. Oh, it's all of it.
It's all of it.
Yeah, that's not great.
It's not good.
Yeah, no.
And so I can understand the balancing issues and like I get that. I understand.
Yeah.
Right? I think now what if this didn't have Unrivaled?
If it didn't have Unrivaled, I would like it a bit more.
I think Unrivaled just takes so much away from these cards.
Yeah. I mean,
there's oh man.
I love board wipes, don't get me wrong. Yeah. This card would be great if it was just destroy every other Clash card.
Yeah.
Or sorry, send all other Clash cards to Oblivion.
Right.
And then not get anything else and not give your opponent something. Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
I don't want my opponent to have anything.
I know.
I don't care if they get. I don't care if they even get a 4-drop. I don't want you to.
But the other thing too is at this point in the game, if I'm like, I need Alpha Aster for a board wipe, dude, you're doing something wrong. I feel like
if this is your only out, you got a bad deck, dude.
Right. Like, are there times in which Alpha Aster could save you? I mean, sure, probably, because again, it's a board wipe.
Yeah.
Like it's a board wipe, right? But it's not
an
effective.
8-mana
It's not
board wipe.
and it's not effectively a board wipe too.
Yeah.
Like you could get your other 8 cost or 7 cost thing on your board for free. So like, I mean this is for all intents and purposes, it is kind of a 2-for-1. Like even if your opponent gets something, like they have one thing, you now have 2 things. So in effect, you could think of it as a 2-for-1, right? Dude, I don't like this card either. Like, I really don't like this card.
All right, Dan, where would you tier this card?
I am trying to think of... I'm trying to be as gracious as I possibly can in the times in which I'd use it.
You know what I think is so great about this card? This is the only redeeming factor I can think about for it.
Yes.
Is Observant. When they could have just called this keyword bad, they were like, no, guys. He's just watching. He's observing everything that he just killed. So there's nothing there.
Okay. All that being said, in all honesty though, I like the design. Yeah. I like the design. I really like how they held back.
Yeah.
Like from a design perspective, I think I really do like this card because this card could be way more broken than it really is. It could be so much more broken.
Yeah.
So that being said, like that's where I like the card. But that being said, it's a bad card. Yeah. It's D.
Also, think about it like this. If the card they get has ETB draw a card, now you're down.
No, it doesn't.
Because
it loses.
The effects are gone.
Correct. All those effects are gone.
Good.
Even on your stuff and their stuff.
Okay.
So all those effects are gone.
That's not good.
Right.
Okay.
It's right. Like, okay, your opponent doesn't get, but you don't get that stuff either.
Yeah.
So it's I wanted to like this card. This is another one where I'm like, I wanted to like this so much better. It's D. It's
I don't think it is.
You think it's worse than
Dan?
D?
We have to give it the Alpha Aster tier, which is lower than D.
All right, we're making up a new tier live. We're doing it live. Wow. It's the Alpha Aster. It's the Alpha Aster ass tier.
Wow.
I really wanted to like this card. I really did. That being said, let's move. We're going to move to the next one. This is Moxie Fully Loaded. Moxie Fully Loaded is an 8-drop. 5 of those required resources needing to be black. So Moxie Fully Loaded is a 6/7 Moxie Earth Clash card, Alpha Hunter affiliation, epic rarity. So Moxie Fully Loaded has flight, and then says if you control 2 or more unattached weapons, you may reduce the resource cost to play this card by 1 black resource. And then has trigger enter. You may attach 1 weapon you control to this card without paying that weapon's attached cost. Jim, you mentioned something about that kind of effect earlier. And then this also says the resource cost to activate traps you control is reduced by a black. So 1 black resource for all your traps. What do you think, Jim?
Oh, I really like this card.
Yep. I agree. Like I agree.
The flight on it makes it so much more deadly.
Yes.
You're able to reduce the cost by just not having things equipped, which can happen. Or even if you want to set it up in the future of dropping this on turn 7, you can unattach on your previous turns to then set it up.
Even that same turn. But again, you need the resources.
Yeah, I was meaning like if it's the same turn and you pay like 1 to unattach, well, there's no difference in terms of resources.
Right. True. Yeah. If you're talking about it's just 1 cost to attach or unattach. Yeah. Sure.
So you're even able to drop this thing on turn 7, and then you ETB attach a weapon, which is huge and makes so much sense for Moxie.
Yes.
Have that ability all day, and then the added effect of the activated traps can be reduced. Really nice.
I think that is what really makes this card that much better.
Oh, okay.
Like just makes it that much better. It's already a great card. Right. It's already good. Yeah. But now the fact that like giving me that added protection. Yeah. That is what, to me, is just, you get so much added value off of this. So you could have a bunch of traps set up where you're like, I need them to just cost 1. Now they're free. You could be doing some serious damage once she gets in. once she gets in, you get that free equip. Already at 6-7, that's already deadly. It already has flight. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if that weapon gives it flight. You're just buffing her even more.
Yeah.
I really like this card. I absolutely love it.
And it's not just a big dumb creature. It's a big dumb creature that really pays attention to the deck it's playing and makes it so much better.
Okay. That being said, where are you sitting on a rating?
Oh, we gotta give it S tier, I feel.
Yeah. Especially if it's like I have 4 traps out.
Make your defenses
and now and then just casting them for free. It's almost like they're just Clash buffs at that point.
Yeah.
It's just so good.
Yeah.
So good. So yeah, that's Moxie fully loaded. That's definite S tier for sure.
I mean, it's situational because what if you don't get to 8 mana? Like, what if you just lose? The card did nothing all game.
Yes,
you know?
Yes, true. Yeah. So, but that's Moxie fully loaded. All right. Next, we're going to talk about the actions. You've only got 3, and we're starting off with the best one. Again, the Clash buff in black. Again, like we've said, all the Clash buffs S tier.
All S tier.
Straight S tier, but the Clash buff for black is incoming support. So it's, again, the same effect like we saw in Power Overflowing, the green one. So incoming support, 0 cost, free card. You may only play this card if your contender is black. And then target contender or Clash card you control gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Then you may draw a card. Again, it's just one of those. There's no downside. Yep. No downside. Replace itself in your hand. Get that buff.
Phenomenal.
It's phenomenal. All right. So outside of that, there's only 2 other actions that we have in black. The first one is Weber's Assistance. Weber's Assistance, a 1 cost basic action, return target weapon from your Oblivion to your hand. So 1 cost, it has to be a black resource. What's your thoughts on this here?
Now, it is a counterplay to people counterplaying your weapons.
Yes.
Which is really the only way I see it, because if there's no other way for you to put them into your Oblivion zone other than them destroying them or sending them to Oblivion, what is the use of this card?
So it's twofold. Okay, so twofold here.
Yes.
Number 1, like you mentioned, your opponent destroying or countering your weapons from coming into play. And at the moment, it's going to be more likely that your opponent destroys your accessories.
Yep.
Okay, so that's the first use case. The other is those Weber and Edwards cards. I think they're more in Weber. It's either Weber or Moxie, where you look at top 3, look at top 5, however many they are. The ones you don't choose go to Oblivion. There are a few like that.
Oh, okay. Because I was thinking Edwards, where he puts them to the bottom of the deck.
There is one of them. Where they go to Oblivion.
Okay.
I can't remember which one it is.
Okay.
I can't remember which one it is.
That's probably the Moxie one.
Yeah, I'd have to double check. I cannot remember it all.
Well, then at that point, yeah, I mean, this is pretty nice.
Because it's protection from okay, you want to blow up my stuff? I'm going to get it back.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So there are, and we're going to touch on the weapons here in a minute. But I think it's solid. I mean, I don't want to pay any more than 1.
Yeah.
I definitely do not want to pay any more than 1. That being said, this is a common card. Where are you putting the rating for this guy?
I mean, I think I have to give it a C.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if the only card in black that is for you yourself throwing them into the grave into Oblivion, and your opponent doesn't really even have anything to blow up your weapons, then yeah, I just see this card being situational.
I do think this is going to come into play when we look at the meta, right? This is definitely a meta call. If there's going to like if you're playing weapons, okay, and then your opponent will. So weapons become prevalent in the meta. Then you start seeing decks that counter accessories, and they start bringing in blow up. Well, if you're still wanting to play weapons, then you need to bring in Weber's Assistance to get that stuff back. So that being said, I think it's a definite C. Do I see this getting to a B? I mean, it could, but in theory. But I think it's a definite C.
Even at that point, it's still not a solid card. It's just to get you back to your game plan.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. So yeah, I think C. I do think C is the correct rating for Weber's Assistants. Okay. Next one we have is Surprise. Surprise is a quick action. It's 3 cost. 2 of those resources needing to be black. It's a common card and says counterattack. Send target attacking clash card to oblivion after this clash. Quick action. What do you think?
Okay. If it didn't say after this clash, I would like it.
Yes.
Especially with it being 3 costs.
Yes.
That's a lot more than the other ones we've looked at. This, it doesn't really amaze me. It's the fact that it's after clash. I don't really like it.
I don't like that either. I would love this so much better if it just said right now, not after this clash. But I can understand why they printed it like this. They did not want to make it really, they didn't want to make it too good.
Yeah.
Okay. Because all of those other counterattack cards so far that we see are very conditional based off of the resource cost.
Yes.
So I can understand why they did it like that. That being said, I think this is a D.
Yeah.
I do not like this card.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that is Surprise. Just not a fan. Surprise! I don't like this card.
Surprisingly bad card.
All right, now we're talking about some of the best cards in all of Black. We're talking about the spice here. We've got the accessories and the clash grounds. All right, first one we're talking about. Weber's Binoculars. Weber's Binoculars is a 1-drop, and that needs to be a black resource. So Weber's Binoculars is a accessory weapon. It is common. It has an attached cost of 1 black, and it states, whenever the attached clash card attacks, you may engage this card. If you do, look at the top 3 cards of your deck. You may reveal an accessory or clash card with an initial resource cost of 2 or less from among them and put it into your hand. Put the remaining cards on the bottom of your deck in any order. Jim, what do you think of Weber's Binoculars?
This card's so good.
Correct.
So good.
Correct. It's straight value.
It is easy A for me. It's an easy A card. I also see this S card because now you're going to be finding weapons. You're going to be finding traps. You're going to be finding other characters for you to play. It has to be S.
Yes. It hits everything. It's an accessory or clash, but 2 or less. It's got to be S. It's got to be S tier for me. Anytime I'm playing against a black deck and I see Weber's Binoculars, removal. Okay, yep, yours gone. I was literally playing. I was playing one game where my opponent played 3 Weber's Binoculars. Every turn, every time they dropped it, the turn passed to me, I was able to remove it immediately, and they got no value. Now, I did spend a little bit more resources than them because, again, this is only 1-drop. Yeah. It's a 1-drop, but you do have to pay the 1 to attach it. But you can get some insane value 100%. Out of this card. I was talking with another community member, and I was like, Weber's Binoculars is like at the top of the list that I think would be banned, right? Would be in an right like this would be the card. Yeah. Do I think it would ever get banned? No, I don't.
If it was free attached, the card's broken.
Yes.
Because you do have to engage this card when when it does attack.
Correct. I love the design. I think this card works perfectly.
Yeah.
Like it's still powerful, but still not powerful enough to where it's broken. This card cannot be broken. No. Like, you can't break this card. Because of how it's designed. I love everything about this card. Absolutely one of my favorite cards in all of Black. Weber's Binoculars, straight S.
Can you imagine if it wasn't engaged this card
it's dead.
To get the effect?
Sick.
It's just like, attach 1. All right, we're going to attack. Attach 1. Do it again.
Do it again.
Oh, my goodness.
Even if it had the 1 attach cost, still, like, that's still busted.
Look at top 3. Look at top 3. Look at top 3. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That is insane value. Insane value. So that's Weber's Binoculars. A definite S tier.
S.
All right, next. Sharpshooter Moxie.
All right.
Sharpshooter Moxie, 1-drop. 1 of those being black. Sharpshooter Moxie. Oh, also, I think Weber's Binoculars, common. That's a common, by the way.
Wow.
Okay, that is a common card. Sharpshooter Moxie, another common. And an accessory trap, common, has counterplay. You may activate this trap if the Clash card being played has an initial resource cost of 2 or less. That card is sent to oblivion instead of entering play. Jim, what's your take on Sharpshooter Moxie?
I mean, I like this card. 1 cost, get rid of a 2 or less. Yeah, I think it's perfectly fine. Sure, you have to set it and it's not a quick action.
Sure.
But, you know, if maybe there was like another card that would turn this into a 0 drop, I can't think of anything specifically. Yeah. But yeah, I like this card. It's really good early on, and then even late game, it can be decent.
Mm-hmm. So I love this card. I love this card because of the 1 or 2 drop Clash cards that are in the set. There's a ton of 1 or 2 drop Clash cards that get draw card, ramp. You get some insane benefits from a lot of cards in this set.
It stops the ETB.
Exactly. So that being said, that's why I love this card. In my eyes, Sharpshooter Moxie, easy A. Easy A. Easy A. I don't think it quite gets to S, but it's a definite easy A.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
I think eventually this card could see S tier. More sets drop, more better, or a lot better 1 drops, 2 drops are coming out. People are going to be playing even lower statted or lower curved decks. Sharpshooter Moxie can see a lot of play later on.
Yeah, I love this card. I mean, like a quasi spoiler alert, this card might see something on another list later on. Just, you know. Next card. Next card is Moxie's Sidearm. Yes. So we've got another accessory weapon. Moxie Sidearm, 1 drop, and it needs to be a black resource, common. It has an attached cost of 1 black and says attached Clash card gets +1/+1. Pretty solid stat line. And Jim, what do you think about Moxie Sidearm?
Yeah, it's a very basic card. Even just later on in the game, sometimes just making your cards +1/+1 higher than your opponents is really all you need.
Yeah.
And this can give you that little edge.
Yeah.
So I like it. I think it's solid.
I do. I think it's solid as well. I mean, this is one of those, it's an enabler. It could enable your other Moxie cards, your other cards that just benefit off of those weapons. So I very much like it because of that. And it's only 1. It only costs 1 too. So because of all, I think this is a solid B.
Yeah.
I think it's a solid B. So that's Moxie's Sidearm. Next one is Moxie's Light Power Armor. So Moxie's Light Power Armor, 3 drop. 3 drop, one of those needing to be black. An accessory weapon. It is rare. And it has an attached cost of 2 black. Okay, so 2 black resources to attach. And it said attached Clash card gets +2/+2 and flight. This card can only be attached to Alpha Hunter Clash cards. Jim, what do you think about Moxie's Light Power Armor?
This card's kind of really nice. Giving the flight and the +2/+2, being able to fly over stuff is huge.
Yep.
I remember in our game, I would just be moving over the flight, move it over, and it's just like so much free damage that you just were not able to stop.
Right.
Even if I didn't re-equip it, I just left it on one person. It's like, okay, I now attack you. I have up my blockers.
Yep.
I now attack you. I have up my blockers.
Yep.
And this got in so much free damage for me.
Yep.
This card is really nice.
Agree. Yeah, this is a very, very good card. One of my favorite things about Alpha Clash as a game is the attacking mechanics. Okay. It's not like Magic where you only have 1 attack step and you do everything at once. You are able to just do things kind of at will, right? Yeah. You can sequence it however you want. It's one of my favorite things about Alpha Clash as a game. And I love card games that give me that agency over how to sequence my plays and how to best set up my lines. So, and a card like Moxie is like the proof in the pudding almost. Like it gives you that I can move it over. I've never been able to do that in a card game, and it's so sick.
So nice.
So it's like, well, it doesn't rely on me having a Clash card or a creature that I would normally have to use to have that flight ability. Nope, I can move it to everything, assuming I have enough resources. Yep. So I love everything there is. I love everything about Moxie's Light Power Armor. That being said, I think it's a solid A. I think it's a solid A. What do you think?
Yeah, I like A tier for it.
Yeah.
Gives you that flight to be evasive over your opponents. It's really nice.
Yeah, so that is a Moxie's light power armor. And next one we have is Missile Barrage. Missile Barrage, a 3-drop, 3 resources needing to be black, so 3 required. It is an accessory trap. It is uncommon, and it has counter attack. Target attacking clash card gets -2/-2 until end of turn. If you control 2 or more weapons, this trap costs 2 black less to activate. Jim, what do you think about Missile Barrage?
I love that you can make this card free.
Yes.
This is great for free.
Correct.
Yeah, this card's great. And then since you don't need to have 2 unattached weapons, it's just have 2 weapons, and then this is instantly 1.
Correct.
You're gonna have those 2 weapons.
If you're playing black, you're 100%.
Yeah, you're gonna have those 2 weapons. This card is really good. I like it.
Yeah. Now, rating. Where are you landing at with a rating for this one?
Ooh. Okay. So now, rather than a 3 cost trap, this is pretty much a 1 cost trap card to me.
Yes.
1 cost, -2/-2. Oh, I'm looking at high BA.
Yeah. I'm right there. The question is, would I give it a B+ or an A-? That's the question.
We're at the exact same spot.
Exactly. So that being said, I think it's an A-.
Yeah.
I think it's an A- for me.
I think since it's a trap, being able to counter, being instant speed, instantly better.
Correct.
You know, no pun intended on that. Yeah. Instantly better.
Yes. Yes.
Phenomenal card.
Yes. Yeah, so I'm definitely leaning into an A- for Missile Barrage. Absolutely love that card.
I like that.
All right, so the next one is Moxie's heavy power armor.
Right.
It's Iron Man. It's basically Iron Man, right? Iron Man's power armor, right? Yes. 4-drop, 2 of those resources need to be black. It has an attached cost of 3 black resources. It is a weapon accessory. It is an epic rarity. So again, 3 attached cost of 3 black. Attached clash card gets +4/+4 and flight. Trigger enter, deal 1 damage to your contender. If you control 3 or more Alpha Hunter clash cards, this card costs 1 black less to attach. This card can only be attached to Alpha Hunter clash cards. This card has a lot of text on it. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of requirements here.
Yeah.
So what do you think about Moxie's heavy power armor?
So I really like the previous one that gave +2/+2 in flight.
Yes.
This is just the bigger version of it.
Yes.
Sure, there's a little bit more restrictions to it, but I think the overall power level that you get from this just really sets you over.
Yes.
Sure, it's 4 and the attach cost is 3.
Yes.
But yeah, this card is just extremely powerful. And I like that the downside is deal 1 damage to your contender. You know, I was just thinking, I'm like, oh, what if you played this with a certain other red
with
contender?
With
and you're like, oh, I dealt the damage to myself.
Right.
Get effect.
Right. Right.
Yeah, this card's really, really good.
Yeah, it's just I don't think you're running this in a Torque deck though.
No,
that's the other.
I'm just looking for strange synergies
correct.
here.
Yes, understood. So that being said, where would you land on a rating for this?
I don't think it's S tier powerful.
No.
I don't think I'd put it in A tier powerful, but it's also when you get this out and you're able to utilize it, it's gonna win you the game.
Yeah.
So I feel like I might have to put it in A.
Yeah, I'm the same place where we were with the last one, like A-, B+.
Yeah.
That's right where I'm at too.
This is a card that will win you the game though, which is why I put it in A.
Yeah. I could live with that. I'm there. I can take that. Yeah. So I think I can live with Mox's heavy power armor being an A. Like you said, I think this definitely could potentially win you the game. Again, you could reduce the attach costs of this to 1 black.
Yeah.
You can get there. very easily. It's not that hard to do that.
Yep.
So that being said, moving this, oh my gosh, moving this
scary.
around, dude, that's freaky,
scary.
dude. That is really scary. So that being said, we're gonna move to the last two cards of the last two black cards of the set, and they're the two Clash Grounds in black. Yay. So the first one that we see is Denver. Denver is a 1-cost Clash Ground. It's a Denver Earth Clash Ground. It's a common card. It is a black required resource. And then it says Alpha Hunter and Rogue Clash cards get +1/+0. Trigger enter, you may draw 2 cards, then discard 1 card. So you get to do a little bit of looting. Jim, what do you think about Denver here?
You know, even if I don't use it for the +1 attack or +1 attack power here, draw 2 cards, discard a card for 1 resource. So good.
Yeah.
You know, the other ones that are just draw 1 card, sure, that's nice. It's great. But draw 2 and just get rid of any card from your hand. Mm-hmm. That's a really good ability.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like this one. 100% B. I could even see A for that specifically because it's 1 cost.
Okay. So you're kind of evaluating it. You're not even thinking about that Alpha Hunter and Rogue Clash card buff. Nope. You're really just looking at 1 cost loot, like draw 2, discard 1.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you think you could just live straight at an A for this?
I think, man, it's up there. I don't know if I'd put it in mid A. I could see low just because the draw 2 for 1 mana of how much I really like that.
Yeah.
I could see it being there.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Cause I was thinking, I'm like, it's definitely B. Am I going to go to A? Yeah, I think I could see that. So I think I could definitely see A for Denver. But yeah, I'm not playing this. I'm not really utilizing it for that buff. It's really just let me filter through my deck and then just find what I need for the situation at hand. Maybe I'm looking for this next card, the United Nations headquarters. Oh, so the UN headquarters, a 3-drop. 2 of those resources needing to be black. It's a New York Earth Clash Ground. It is an uncommon. It says Alpha Hunter Clash cards get +2/+0 and interception. Attached costs of weapon you control are reduced by a black resource.
Good.
What do you think about this, Jim?
Broken with binoculars.
Yes.
I mean, it's not, but
yes.
Just for it to be free and you don't even have to pay anything every single turn.
Yes.
It's really, really nice.
Correct.
This card's phenomenal. There's not much I'd throw at it other than that.
Yep.
Very straightforward. And you care about your weapons and you want them to be cheaper. It's an easy A for me. Easy A.
Easy A, I agree. I'm trying to convince myself if I could push this to an S. Okay, and here's my only.
All right, I can see S. Go ahead.
And my argument here, okay, is this, okay. You could get so much value off of that reduced cost. I mean, if you are able to save yourself 7 resources, dude, that's an insane amount of value. Yeah. Like, think about moving that heavy power armor over multiple. Well, let's not even talk about the heavy power armor. Let's talk about Weber's binoculars. You're just moving it from thing to thing to thing, okay, and not even just moving it from thing to thing. It's just your opponent. If your
thing dies,
correct. If your opponent kills it, then you're able to just attach it now for free, get more value. Oh, just the amount of value you can get off of this card is just it's crazy.
We talk about Moxie's Sidearm, which is the 1 attachment for +1/+1.
Yes.
You move that to 3 cards, that's 3 more damage coming out.
Yes.
Saving you 3 toughness as well. That's a pretty good setup too, even with just the Sidearm.
Now, the thing that we did not talk about at all in this video, okay, is the Moxie Contender. Now, thing to keep in mind, everybody, okay? In Alpha Clash cards can only have 1 weapon attached to them at a time. Cannot have more than 1 weapon attached. Unless you have a contender like Moxie Ready to Hunt. This card, by the way, is absolutely beautiful.
Stunning. The pre-release.
Absolutely beautiful card. Okay. But Moxie Ready to Hunt instantly says on the card, Alpha, I believe it's strictly Alpha Hunter. Yes. Alpha Hunter clash card you control may attach more than one weapon. Okay.
More than one.
More than one.
Not two.
Not two. Not three. More than
More
one.
than one.
So any number of weapons can be attached. Okay. So that being said, you really have to, taking all of those things in consideration, I think UN headquarters could be an S.
Yeah. I see high A, low S tier.
Okay, so let's settle it right now. Are we gonna end this at an A+ or an S-?
You know, we got to go out with a bang, right?
Yes,
we have to. D tier.
D tier. All right. Do you honestly think this could go into S tier?
I think because of how much value you can get and the power that your cards will now also be getting, aside from the +2/+0
and interception
and intercept,
you can't fly over me anymore.
Yeah, I got it. I'll say S.
I really think it's S.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that UN headquarters, and with that, guys, we're gonna turn it over to you. What do you think? Do you think UN headquarters is S tier?
Is this the best card in the game?
What do you think, man? What do you guys think? You let us know. Don't forget, let us know down below in the comments. And again, don't forget, guys, hit that like button. If you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button and hit that bell notification icon so you can be notified whenever we release a new video and a new Alpha Clash video. We've got a few more colors to cover for the set, and then we've got some more great, honestly, guys, we have a lot of awesome Alpha Clash content coming your way. And if you don't want to miss any of that, be sure hit that like button, hit that subscribe button so you can be notified when we release more content for the Alpha Clash game. So thanks everybody for hanging out with us. We will catch you in the next Alpha Clash video. See you, everybody.
Take care.